Well, as all of you can see by either the name or also the face on the screen above Aaron here, I'm obviously not Kelly. Kelly is unable to be with us tonight because he has some laryngitis or something like that going on. He can barely talk. So Aaron's going to take a majority of all of the conversation tonight. I'll be here to support him and also answer any questions that you guys have in the chat. And Aaron, if I remember correctly, when do you want to do the poll? Do you want it to start at the end?
Well, let's get through our disclosures and give some people who are maybe running a few minutes late a chance to come in, and we'll do that somewhere towards the middle because I want as many people involved in that poll as possible. So we do have we're going to be a little bit more interactive with you guys. So if you're used to just kind of listening to us like a podcast and just playing in the background, well, tonight we are going to ask you to interact, and we have a poll for you, so it's somewhat towards the middle of our webinar tonight. So please stand by and get ready to engage.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit early, but we have some new stuff for you guys tonight.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, we don't have Kelly for you, and like we normally do. So we're making up for it by giving you some fun stuff. I do have some interesting things that I think that you will all find interesting. But before I do any of that, we have to go through our disclosures that I know everybody just loves. Let me see here. All right. Okay. So iFlip Investor Incorporated and iFlip Financial Services are not financial advisors and do not make buy, sell, or hold recommendations on any financial instrument. This presentation is for educational purposes only. Unique experiences and past performances do not guarantee future results. All financial investments involve risk. You should speak with your CPA or financial representative to ensure that the iFlip Smartfolios that you select are suitable for your investment profile before trading in a live brokerage account. It's always so much fun to go through that. But without further ado, we can talk about tonight's agenda. Obviously, we do not have Kelly here to give us the market update. And I know you're probably all wondering what Kelly's take on it is, because it's been ugly out there, right? You know, global conflict, inflation, what's going to happen with rate hikes with the Fed, et cetera, et cetera. But what we'll do is I'm going to give you actually a product update first, because we haven't done that in a while. And what we'll do is at the end, we will create Kelly and I had a conversation, and he said, if you gather up some of the most common questions, we can and email them to me. I will respond with kind of like in a newsletter format by the end of the week, because he's alert, right? He just can't talk, right? So he's going to just write his responses to us. So together, that's another point of the engagement, right? That is not the poll. The poll is something separate, but we will all craft our questions together, okay? And if you have Kelly's email or anything like that, please wish him a speedy recovery. I know he'll really, really appreciate it. So that's our agenda for tonight. So first thing that I want to do is give you all a product update. So let me take care of this. Do that. Let me switch to a tab. Okay. You may have noticed if you log into the web app that it looks slightly different. On the home screen, instead of the orange button, you see a giant red button, or a giant button that is a lot more obvious as to what it does. We used to have all positions show up with a tiny little arrow. We wanted to be subtle about it, but we realized that a lot of people didn't know what it was and didn't even know that was there, including our own very own CEO, Randy. Randy was like, I didn't know that we had this. So sorry, Randy, I got to throw you under the bus a little bit. But he didn't know that was where the button was. He was going in to the individual position. So we made that adjustment. So now it's really obvious. You can see all of your positions with this one button. Okay. You may have also noticed that you have a pull down arrow under each of the Smartfolios that shows you what is inside of each Smartfolio. Okay, this is a function that that was originally reserved for the full position screen, but now we've added it to just the home page on the smart cards on the right side here, so that you can get a deeper look much quicker for each Smartfolio. And that includes your custom. So in this case, I have a custom Smartfolio with just AMD and NVIDIA. It got into them recently, right? It was in cash for a long time. I remember I was watching this and it was just in cash for a long time. Didn't bother me, just let the AI do its thing. But recently it got in to both. And you can see that I have 5 shares of AMD, 1 share of NVIDIA, and the rest in cash. Okay. You may have also noticed that the owned stocks also look slightly different. We rearranged the data so that it's a little bit more consistent with the Smartfolio smart cards. So instead of showing stock price on the right side, it parallels the Smartfolio smart card. It shows you the amount, it shows you the value of your position instead of the stock price, just like it does in the Smartfolio. So in this case, I have AMD also bought manually, right? It's a white card. Indicates that there's no AI involved here. I have 1 share bought at 119.22, okay? And the value of it, because it's just 1 share, is 119.22, okay? So here, this is the stock price. It's in a smaller font. The more important number, which is the value of your position, is over here. And below that is your daily change in both dollars and percentage. So AMD lost, everything is down today, right? It's just a bad day. AMD lost 3% today, which equates to $4. Okay. And what didn't change was the company name. So the slight modification there for your watch list and your own stock positions, all of your smart cards on the right hand side. Okay. Now, here's the exciting piece that I think that all of you have been waiting to see. I think that all of you, some of you were part of the crypto masterclass because you enrolled in that the early access for crypto. Of course, part of that also is the ability to trade crypto on our software platform that we've been talking about for a while. Now, I am very pleased to show you that in our test environment, you can see that we have crypto ready to go. Now, before everybody jumps out of their seats, I do have to say that some people have access to this, but we're rolling it out in a very limited fashion, right? First come, first serve kind of thing from when you enrolled. Currently, even though we are currently live with it, you won't be able to see it. Okay, I just want to throw a big disclaimer out there. Currently, our broker Velox and our crypto partner Paxos, they are still working out some of their certifications and legal stuff. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so they are not ready for us to connect the wires on the back end for us to actually trade live. But we are ready as the user interface, that supplier for you guys. We are ready to show you at least a demo of how it will work. Okay. So here's how. So when you first sign in, there will be I don't have this available right now, but there will be a button if you're eligible for crypto, as in you got early access and all that kind of stuff. You will see when it's ready, and we'll email you to make sure you don't miss it. You will see a button to enable crypto over here. Okay, that button, when you click it, you'll have to agree to some disclosures and some terms and conditions, as you would at any other broker ever. And once you agree to those conditions, then crypto will be revealed to you. And you will see cryptocurrencies under start trading. You can see in this test environment, we've also done some trades. We own a little bit of Bitcoin. We own a little bit of Litecoin. And we have some Bitcoin Cash in our watch list and Ethereum as well. Obviously, you can see the way we distinguish crypto is with the purple font. We wanted to deliver crypto integrated into your stock investing experience. Okay, we didn't want to segregate, and we've talked about this a lot, but I'm just reiterating here. We didn't want to segregate the experience of investing in Smartfolios and investing manually and in stocks, and then do a separate wallet and key and a email address and password for crypto, because that's usually how you have to do it for a lot of the brokers out there. We wanted a seamless integration. And this is how we do it. Everything looks the same, except the only way you would know, unless you already recognize crypto for what it is as a currency, the hint is that it ends in USD, right? Because it's traded in dollars. But if you didn't know that already, then the way to tell is with the purple font. Okay, so cryptocurrencies will be at the top. When we launch, we'll have these initial coins. Paxos is constantly adding more, and Velox is constantly adding more as well. Or Velox, I should say, is allowing the new coins added by Paxos to be traded and integrated into our platform, right? They're serving as kind of the middleman there. And below that is what you've always seen, right? Your popular stocks and your big movers. We'll probably have big movers integrated into, or I should say, we'll probably have crypto integrated into the big movers as well, but that'll be coming soon. That's not something that we have day one. Okay. So I know, so let me show you now how trading crypto works, because it's a little bit different than the way you would place a trade for a stock. So let's come up here and let's search for Ethereum. ETH, USD. Obviously, the one again in purple is the crypto coin. Let's let that load. And you'll notice that in a crypto trading window, we only have limit buy available. That's because currently Paxos and Velox are only allowing limit orders for now. Market orders are coming, but we have to roll these things out one at a time. So with our interface, we're only showing limit buy. The way you enter a limit buy would be different as well, because typically in a stock, you would enter the number of shares you want to buy and then at the price you want to buy it at. In crypto, we could do that, but that's actually really complicated, because then I have to, what if I don't want to buy a whole Ethereum coin? What if I only want to buy half of one? Then I have to like do math of how much I'm going to spend. It's difficult. Usually the way that most brokers do it is you enter a dollar amount, and which is the reverse of the way that you would trade a stock. So you would enter, let's say I want to just buy $200 worth of Ethereum. And I set a limit price at just something as close as what it is right now. So I'm just going to type in exactly what the real-time price is given to me, 3392.50. Okay. And it does the math for me. Estimated tokens is 0.058-ish. That's how many Bitcoins, or excuse me, that's how many Ethereum I'm going to buy. I click review order and make sure that the summary is correct. Hit submit. Let it do its thing. It says pending order, but as of right now, this is kind of hitting nothing on the back end, right? Because like I just said earlier, Paxos and Velox are still working out their certifications and agreements, and they haven't connected the back end to our front end yet, right? The front end being the app. Okay, so I'm going to pause there and just take any questions about the product update that we've had so far.
Aaron, the only other thing I can think of is under that start trading tab, how the portfolios have moved. I'm not sure if you got to that yet, and it's very quick.
Oh yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about that. Thanks, Lee. So another change that we made is under start trading. If you go under AI Smartfolios, we used to divide it up by tier. We're not doing that anymore. We've had so many people, ask, well, which one fits my investment palette, right? My investing style, conservative, moderate, aggressive. So now we've sorted it by conservative, moderate, aggressive, and then your customs are all the way at the bottom. So we've reorganized that by risk factor, not by pricing tier. Okay. So do we have, before I move on to the polls and questions and stuff like that for Kelly, do we have any questions about the crypto or the product, the web app updates? Anything at all?
Nothing I'm seeing.
Nothing on the chat? Okay. Okay. That's fine. So let's move on then to the interactive portion of tonight's webinar. Let's get the poll up, Lee.
I can do that. Hopefully.
Hopefully we know how to do that correctly.
All right, just launched it.
Yes. So hopefully you guys can see this poll. The question that we have for all of you, because you are if you're invited to the AI circle, you are our VIP members. And we want to engage with you even more than we already do. And like it or not, the best way to do that in this day and age, in 2022, is social media. So the question is, on which social media platform would you like to see more iFlip content? And would you like to engage with iFlip more? So go ahead and let's first confirm that everybody can see this poll and has and is able to click and answer.
I'm
want to make sure that we did that correctly.
Yep, I'm seeing answers come through, so I'm going to make the assumption that it's working properly.
Perfect. Okay, great. So I'm going to leave this poll up for the next, 5 to 10 minutes or so. And you guys can think about it and choose. Just pick one, please.
And Aaron,
one platform that you would like to see us on, and we'll close it up in a few minutes. So we'll just let people get their answers in.
Perfect.
During that time.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, while they're doing that, you might be thinking the same thing I was. There was one question that came in. I actually don't know the answer to this. Someone asked, what is the HPPS address for my quick start, for quick start in my account? I'm not 100% sure what that means. Aaron, you might know better than I, but it could just be like the app.iflipinvest where you put in your email and password. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, Regina, if you could clarify what you mean by that, can you elaborate that? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just this address here, app.iflipinvest.com. Yeah, I'll type that in for you.
I can grab it as well since you have the screen.
Okay, if you want to log into your app quickly, you can also save your password with a password manager and just instant login. Okay. Hope that answers your question.
And
yeah, there
Regina,
you
go. I just put it in there. The /sign-in is the one that gets you right to the page that asks for your email address and password. So I would say that's about as quick as you can get into the platform.
Yep. Okay, and if there aren't any other questions for me, I'm sure a bunch of you have questions for Kelly. And the way that I'm going to do that, if you can all still see my screen, we can just put together some questions for Kelly. And if just throw them into the chat and we can craft them together. If it is something that we can that I can address because it's really super basic, then I'll just give you the instant gratification of answering for you here. Other than that, we can queue this up, and Kelly promises that he'll respond to us and send out an email by the end of the week. So what questions do you have for Kelly, even though he's not here? I feel like I should be playing Jeopardy music.
Right. Hard when you have to type them out. It takes a second.
Yeah, no, that's totally. So we'll give you all a minute. I know for to start off, we should just do a market recap of the first quarter. Which even if I didn't write this, I know that he would probably do that anyway, but still.
Debbie was reading your mind. She said basically that, not necessarily in a question, but she's just said she's looking forward to Kelly's market update.
Yes. I mean, that's something that you would get anyway. But yeah, okay, good. Glad we're on the same page, Debbie. Okay. Thoughts for the rest of the year?
Yeah.
For Q2, probably to start, and rest of year. Okay, so we have a question from Amy in the Q&A board. Impact of market. So Amy, are you asking for the impact of the market on red oil specifically? Or you want, if you can clarify that in the chat.
Aaron, if I'm not mistaken, actually maybe no. Oh no, we did. It looks like we might have gotten back into a couple of things. So maybe that's where that question is stemming from.
Gotcha. Okay, so do you mean Amy, because the algorithm got into a few more positions on red oil? And you're asking like, why did it do that? Got it. Okay. Red oil.
Perfect.
New positions.
Regina, I can actually answer your question. So can Aaron, I'm sure. And we might even want to just, since we have screen share, if you don't mind going back and forth. Her question said, basically, I noticed that the SPY is showing up in AI now. Can you indicate when that was reinvested? If you just want to maybe show the activities, I guess actually, I don't know if you have a SPY in your account. The short answer is that it looks like, at least in my account, I'd imagine it's the same for you as well, Regina, that it bought back in yesterday. You can see that under either the activity section. Actually, that's probably the best way to do it, in the activity section inside of your account. Additionally, if you have the notifications turned on, we also sent you an email when it reinvested into the SPY.
Yeah, I believe that we got into that yesterday. We got into the SPY yesterday.
Correct.
And I think it was because we actually talked about it quite a bit. I know that well, I'll let Kelly respond to that in his email, but I know that I was like, me personally, and I'm not Kelly. I don't have his expertise or his experience, but I was a little bit concerned that it's a little bit of just like a quick reaction, a little bit of an exaggerated reaction of positivity from all of the from all of the peace talks, or they want to do peace talks and all the political stuff that's happening. So like, I'm not sure that I believe that. But we'll see. If you look at the so I'm more of a technical trader myself. If you look at that, there's a lot of weakness still. If you look at some of the indicators for the indexes. So we'll see. I mean, the algorithm is the algorithm, and our opinions are opinions, right? They're not always going to align, and that's kind of the point. Okay. Any other questions?
Even maybe just to broaden the the third one as well for when it says reasons for red oil new positions. Like I have the SPY Plus in one of my accounts. Like obviously the SPY went in, so did Apple. I don't know what else we reinvested into, but just maybe, and it can be red oil specific as well to answer. I believe it was Amy's question. But just
Okay, so we'll just broaden that out to, there was a lot of activity. I know I'm in the product, I'm managing it every day. That we recently, this past week and last week, had a lot. We bought into a lot of stuff on the Smartfolios. We actually needed to increase our server instances to be able to handle that load. And yeah, because there was a lot of orders, right, that we needed to clear. So I'm very much aware. So these are very valid. Okay. Where do I put $25,000? Danny, we're technically not allowed to answer that question directly. But if you'll have options to choose from various different Smartfolios. Obviously, you can trade your manual stock however you like. But we do have, I'm going to go back to this slide over here with our app where it's conservative, moderate, aggressive. So if you were to come into, we've been talking about red oil. So let's click red oil in this case. And let's look at the about. Just read this. It's a very brief description of what the investment thesis is for this Smartfolio. So this Smartfolio in general, the TLDR version of all this is that this is an investment betting on the recovery of the oil sector, right? That got hammered during COVID. It's not that these companies were bad. It's that COVID and the lockdown globally just crushed all travel, right? So the stocks took a beating, even though they didn't quite, deserve it. So we were using the AI to select the best stocks in the oil sector to invest in. So that's this particular investment thesis. If you look at something like Mod Plus, and you see that there's way more stocks, this is more of a diverse blend, right? It says blend. Okay, 1/3 exposure to to overall market, and then it just got a little bit of everything. So you want a little bit of everything, then maybe this is a better fit for you. So I would suggest that you go into the Smartfolios and you just check out each one where it says the about section, and you just check out what it says. Okay, see what you see what fits your investment palette first. And if you have any specific questions about Smartfolios, then you can always add them later. Okay, and Janet Winkleman.
Aaron, sorry, one thing before we get to that, because that's a great question for Kelly.
Sure.
But Danny, just the last thing, like, we, as Aaron said, we can't pick the portfolio for you or tell you where you should put it. But if you have questions on any of them, we have plenty of resources to be able to help you with that. I actually see George on the call right now who does a lot of that stuff as well. So I would just say I have your email. I'll reach out to you, Danny. If you have any questions for me that I can answer, I'd be happy to. If we need to connect you to someone else, then we can do that as well. But we'll obviously take care of you.
Yes, absolutely. Right. We'll absolutely take care of you. While also drawing the line in the sand of like the legal boundaries we're not allowed to cross. Okay. Because we're not an RIA. Well, I'm not an RIA or an investment advisor, so I have to just be very, very clear about that. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Janet Winkleman asks, what would Kelly suggest if he received sudden cash? Prepare for inflation and a downturn. Interesting. So it's like a hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, like if you had cash right now, what would you do with it, given the state of everything in the world right now? Is my interpretation. Janet, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, Janet. I mean, if we're misinterpreting your question at all, please correct us. Okay. And what would you do with cash right now for inflation and market downturn. Okay. All right, we can maybe squeeze in one or two more, because I'm not really counting these first two as real questions, because he would do that anyway. So let's throw in a couple more there. And Randall, yes, there will absolutely be a recording of this call. And I think there was another question about the recordings. Masterclass recaps. So if you were enrolled in the crypto masterclass, then you know that that the class was held on Zoom and on Facebook. Now, currently, those replays are all on Facebook. So we've been telling people, you know, if you don't have Facebook, or if you deactivated your Facebook for whatever reason, just like make a dummy account and tell us what it is, and we'll give you access to it. But I do believe that one of the replays are actually on YouTube as well. So that's a question that you should reach out to us separately. If you absolutely can't get access to Facebook for whatever reason, then let us know, and we'll try and get you the files somehow and let you download them or something. Okay.
Janet added your question a little bit.
Fractional shares, are they on the horizon? Yes, John, absolutely. Fractional shares is imminent. Obviously, crypto is fractional. So our interface is already set up to handle fractional shares, but that's a question. That's a feature that's more a question of, we got to work with Velox to make sure that we handle it correctly. There's a lot that happens on the back end that's invisible to the end user about fractionals, because about fractional shares, because you have to know, like, if you are going to buy 0.75 shares of Apple, let's say, who gets the other, who holds the other 0.25 of that share, right? That's a very important question to answer, because without that, it can't be done. So that's something on the back end that we have to work out. But as soon as we have all that clear, fractional shares is imminent. That's probably the next feature, one of the next features that we'll be rolling out. Okay. Let's see. Do you have an ETA on trading that takes dividend timelines into account? What do you mean by that, Randall?
Well, we have the 60-40 portfolio, which has, I believe it's the 40% of it is in income, or we would call it income generating, but basically dividend type stocks. You think of Exxon, AT&T, those sorts. That's the only one to my knowledge that's built specifically for that. I don't know about adding new ones or anything like that. That's more of the question of the timeline, but what we have now, I guess that would be my answer.
Right. Hopefully, does that answer your question, Randall?
He's taking it a step further, though. Yeah, more to it sounds like just to capture the dividend, not selling it before.
That you know what, that is a I'll add that as a question for Kelly, because I think I know what he would say, but I don't want to put words in his mouth. I think, though, like, at least my opinion on that is it wouldn't make that big of a difference. It's like, I kind of personally take a all or nothing approach to that, where it's like, if I'm going to hold for dividends, I'm just holding for dividends. But if I'm trading it, I'm not going to necessarily pay attention to, the calendar date for when dividends are going to come out, if, like, I have a technical signal for me to do otherwise. Like, I wouldn't personally let that interfere with, but that's just me. I don't know if Kelly would agree. I think he would, but I'm not actually sure. AI that considers dividend timing.
I just responded to Regina about her question, but for anyone else curious, Aaron, if you want to go back to your the platform, when your account that you're logged into, just show her where the Smartfolios are under start trading. This is it's a good thing to bring up because like we said, it did change. If you want to know the exact percentages, like just use 60/40 for example. I was just talking about that one. So once you open it up, this is just going to show you the graph of 60/40, that portfolio more specifically. All the way at the bottom under allocations, that'll actually give you the percentages. So we see 60% in the SPY, and then 20% TLT, 10% Exxon, and then the remaining 10% in two of AT&T stocks.
That's right. So we call this our Smartfolio dashboard. And at the very bottom of the dashboard is where you can see the allocations, and the dot indicates which ones that the AI wants to buy or is currently in. So hopefully that answers your question, Regina. Just wanted to let us know. Yeah, it's learning the new format is helpful. Great, great. Let's see. Okay, no, that was the same question. Okay. All right. So let's take a how's our poll looking, Lee? The social media poll.
Great question.
Do we have all the responses or most of the responses in from our attendees tonight?
Yep, we are at 95%, and I think
all right, let's see the results.
There's a couple people that are on here twice, so I think everyone got it. So let's
perfect. I'm curious to see, where do you want more of our okay, so it's almost a coin flip between YouTube and LinkedIn. Okay, which is good because YouTube is already where. What's that?
So no one wants more TikTok.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, like I didn't even realize 0% said TikTok. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Okay, so we'll put out more YouTube content for you, and I think what we can do is, well, and I've talked about this with Kelly and Randy a lot. I think that to watch a replay of this entire AI circle often is going to be 45, 50, an hour, 60 minutes plus, and that's not who has time for that, right? So we'll just carve out little clips of the best pieces of it, and we'll probably release that as a public video, but obviously the full video is reserved for people that are because this is an invite only kind of event. Okay. Telegram is really cool. I was actually gonna I was thinking about putting that here, but to me technically that wasn't exactly what we're going for, but it is an interesting app that for like notifications, announcements, and things like that. So it is very interesting. Duly noted, Janet, duly noted. I'm not going to promise anything with Telegram yet, but it's on my radar. It's on my radar for sure. AI Circle can be shown with Facebook group, but extra content is best on YouTube, especially for those who use PC versus mobile. Gotcha. Okay. So we're a lot of YouTube fans here. Oh, that's great, because that's if I had a vote, the host is not allowed to vote in these Zoom things. Apparently, I didn't know that, but that would have been my vote too. So glad to see we're all on the same page. Thank you everybody for engaging in that little fun survey that we had. Last call for any questions for Kelly. I think we can throw in one more before we wrap for tonight. And again, you'll see an email addressing all of these things by the end of the week from Kelly Korshak. So last call, folks, last call. Any other questions? We'll give about a minute or two and then we'll wrap. Okay, I think that's it. And anything that you have, Lee, that you want to share?
No, I was just gonna say, I know this is the first I don't want to call it a real AI circle, but you know, the start of the year was a lot of the crypto, and then we had IRA Club that we did last, which was an awesome presentation. And so I've been on the attendee side of it more than anything. So it's been nice to see all your guys' questions, see the familiar names on the attendee list. So you know, as always, just thank you guys for coming back and continuing to engage. And obviously, on different conditions, Kelly would be doing this over me, and I take no offense to that. So, looking forward to having him back for the next one.
Yes, yes. So special thanks to Lee for stepping in last minute and you know, giving me a hand with all of this kind of stuff. Other than that, I think we are all set here, everybody. Stay tuned. You will hear from us via email, and you'll get another email about the replay. And stay tuned. Crypto's coming soon. We saw it. We're ready. We're just waiting on the back end to be connected. Okay, so lots of fun stuff coming. Stay tuned. Q2 is going to be awesome. But until then, we're signing off and going to say good night.
See you guys.
Thank you, everybody.